Hello, hi, and welcome to EmpathicFire. I am your reader, Jay. This is going to be a no communication reading for those who are not currently in communication with Virgos. If you are not talking, speaking, calling, texting, writing, psychically conversing with a Virgo right now, that last one is a joke. I'm only talking about what happens here in the 3D. If you have some telepathic connection with a Virgo, I have no dominion in that space. But if you're not in communication with a Virgo in the 3D, then this is the reading for you. Hello to returning viewers. Hello to first-time viewers. You are all welcome here, and I hope you all are doing well. Oh man, so first time doing this type of reading for those dealing with Virgos, but if you're a subscriber of mine, you've seen this content over the past few days, and I like it. It seems that the viewers like it, so hopefully you find something here that resonates with you today. If you do, liking, sharing, subscribing, and commenting, all that stuff helps the channel grow, and it shows me that you support the content. Now, if you are looking for messages from Virgo who you are not talking with, you're not in communication with, then this is the reading for you. We will lay out 3 cards here in the bottom left. That is Virgo's message to you, the viewer. What would they say if the lines of communication opened? What would they say if they had suddenly the desire to speak to you and tell you something? We'll see what the message is. And then we'll also, because most likely they're going to watch if it says Virgo, I'm going to watch it. So if a Virgo was curious about what you might want to say to them, or you might not even know, what would I say if I wanted to talk to Virgo? We're going to lay 3 cards on the top right for that message. There will be a shared energy in the center, and we'll also read that from Virgo to you and you to Virgo. So you kind of get about 3 or 4 different perspectives of what is going on or what might go on or kind of how everybody's feeling, okay? Timestamp is in the description box, guys, if you want to jump ahead, because I do shuffle on camera for this. Also down there's the information if you want to get a personal reading with me. If you have questions, whoa, look at all those cards. There's no way I'm going to read any of that. Anyway, if you have any questions before you place the order, you can email me at the same address, okay? And yeah, let's get into it. Please show me 3 cards from Virgo to the viewer. What would Virgo say if the lines of communication were to be opened up? What would Virgo say if they decided to step forward and speak to the viewer? What would those messages be? Please show me 3 cards, please. Did that flip? No, I don't think so. Okay. Not much stuff so far. This Virgo might not want to say anything to you. There we go. Side position. Which way, please? Yeah, good. Thank you. Okay. And last card from Virgo to the viewer, please. One more. Whoa. That one there, that got all bunched up on that side. There we go. All right, and same thing, but this time from you, viewer, to Virgo. Pardon me. There it goes. 3 cards from the viewer to Virgo. What would the viewer like to say to Virgo if the lines of communication opened up? Or if the viewer decided to step forward and speak to Virgo? 3 cards, please show me. Phone card, please. Lord. Been shuffling forever. Have you guys not talked in a long time? Gosh, we finally got there. Man. Came in a sidewinder position as well. Oh, boy. Yep. Okay. Thank you. And again, I use different decks for this reading, so to get everything kind of lined up takes a little second. And let's see. Yeah, something like that. God, it's just got to be what it is. I can't continually, fret over those things. Let's flip everything. That came face down. Well, okay. And yeah, well, okay. You guys really are not talking. And you probably have your reasons, and Virgo has theirs. Let's see what they might be, okay? Some of them might be. Not for every Virgo on the planet, not for every whoever you are, okay? That is impossible. It's a general collective. I'm going to tell you that at the top. Now, collectively, what would Virgo say to you? They would say, 9 of Wands in reverse, 9 of Wands in reverse, 5 of Swords, and the King of Cups. They are tired. They are tired, and they don't want to talk. Clearly, with no communication, they don't want to talk about it. Something has really gone beyond the limits for them, and if there was going to be any effort put in, it would be like the very last drop. Like, it feels like blood from a stone at this point with Virgo. Either they feel that way about you, or you feel that way about them, or that's just the tone or the energy or the the vibe between the pair of you right now. Okay, so individually, first thing they would tell you is 9 of Wands in reverse. I'll show you this upright. You can get a better look at the art. Listen, this is like total radio silence. I'm feeling, number one, I'm feeling family and love relationships, right? Spouses, long time, boyfriend, girlfriend, live-in, partnerships, whatever. This feels significantly weighted on their side. It feels as though there's been a lot of investment, time, money, effort between the two of you. So that's why I'm feeling family or some type of, romantic or love connection, okay? 9 of Wands in reverse, they're giving it up. They've fought a good fight with you, beside you, for themselves, whatever. And now it's just like, I'm done. I am so done, is what this is. I feel this has been at least a few months where you guys haven't spoken. So I'm feeling like 2, at the very least, upwards of like years that you haven't spoken. 3 years, 5 years, something like that. And it doesn't feel like Virgo, like I said, has it in them to keep trying. Or even not keep trying, because again, if you haven't spoken, how much effort is there? I mean, you could still, remember, well, some of you saw, when I did the intro, I said, if you're not talking, speaking, blah, 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 and then I said psychically connected or something like that, and I made a joke of it. But especially if you're watching tarot, or Virgo might be watching this, or both of you or one of you is watching this, that was a joke. But if you're part of this space, metaphysical work, esoteric work, tarot, clairvoyancy or clairaudience and things like that, if you're into that stuff, or you're into the idea of soulmates or lifetimes and multiple lifetimes and past lives and all that kind of stuff, and you, whatever you believe, I don't know what you believe, but some out there might believe, even when not speaking, effort is being put in because we are psychically connected. We are connected at a soul level, right? So that is why I wanted to quickly come in here and correct myself by saying, well, how could you have effort if you're not talking? To some people's estimation, that would be effort. We may not speak, and it could even go back to, or not even back to, but it could even encompass things like prayer. Like, even though you don't speak to them, you might pray for them. Or Virgo might be thinking this, I pray for you. And Virgo's just about to take you off their prayer list. And not to be offensive or not to be spiteful or not to be anything. It's just a matter of, I've prayed for this person. I'm putting my spiritual efforts out there. I'm meditating. I'm journaling. I'm doing all these things. I'm going to counseling for myself. I'm doing whatever effort Virgo feels they have put in here, despite there being no contact, no communication, right? No speaking, no texting, no nothing. They're, like I said, like the very last drop is about to be absolutely dried up. So the prayers go away. The spiritual, wishing for your spiritual well-being or your spiritual healing, going and talking about you to their therapist, whatever. They're about to be done bringing you up in those sessions. You know, therapist says, okay, so Virgo, how do you feel about blah, blah, blah person? And they'll be like, I don't really feel anything about it anymore. Or, you know, I've decided to truly let it go. I don't want to discuss it. And the therapist is like jotting down on their noteboard or their notepad, thank God. You know, and that's a joke. That is a joke. But, you know, if someone has been talking about you or trying to work through whatever issue exists between you on their end with an outside source, a therapist, a friend, eventually it gets old for the person who has to hear that. I don't care if they're a therapist. And I'm not trying to drag a therapist or anybody in that work into the mud. It's really a joke. But it's kind of a revelation to the Virgo and anyone else who is aware of what's transpiring between the two of you, that Virgo is making a conscious effort to no longer give effort. You know, it could even come down, like I just said, I don't want to speak about them in these sessions. You don't have to go to therapy to make such declarations. I don't want to talk about him or her ever again. Virgo could be deciding that to themselves silently, or they're telling their friends and family, or they're telling whoever knows the business. Okay, you know, this could be a message. I mean, again, if they were going to talk to you, because that's the premise of these readings, if they're going to talk to you, they would tell you, I'm not going to put in effort with us anymore, or towards you, or anything. You know, you might come to them and say, hey, Virgo, what have you been thinking about me lately? And they're going to say, nothing. Nothing. I have tried to remove you from my psyche, from my consciousness, from whatever. And again, it feels like because either they're just so drained, they're so tired, it has weighed on them, it has taxed them physically and spiritually to do this, or they've lost the hope, you know, because some of them are really, you know, with the Nine of Wands in the upright, as you can see, it's a wounded fox, aka the wounded warrior, sometimes we call it in the tarot, and there's like this belief in their eyes, in that fox's eyes, look, determination. Reversed, not so much anymore. So they've lost faith in maybe you guys making amends, maybe you guys reuniting, maybe you guys being able to see past your differences. And no. Now, interestingly, maybe not interestingly, I guess we'll find out, right next to it, the second part of the message would be this Five of Swords. So listen. You know, whatever has happened between you, whatever disagreement, I'm feeling a disagreement or an argument. Disagreement mostly. Some of you, it was a straight up argument. But whatever the disagreement is of why you stopped talking, or the event, or the dissolving or the breaking down of communication, or the slower breakdown. Like some of you, this was like a sudden, okay, we're not talking. I'm not talking to you, you're not talking to me. Great. Maybe not great, but okay, fine. Others of you, it was like a slow dwindling down. In either case, it feels as though that breakdown in communication, or the way that the communication ended, or the way, thank you, the aftermath. So if it was a big argument, let's say, that you had 2-3 months ago, something like that, the fact that you or they, or both of you decided not to come back to try and fix it, or every time you did, it just continued the argument, and neither of you could drop it, or from their point of view, from their point of view, they might feel like you didn't drop your pettiness so they didn't drop theirs. So everybody sticking to their guns just made it worse. Yeah? The slow decline works in a similar fashion, but sort of in reverse. Well, not in reverse, but how can I say that? Because like with the argument, like it keeps building. That's how it builds, right? So we argue once, we wait a couple days, we try to patch it up, the argument starts again. Oh, you want to bring it back up. I thought we buried it. Okay, so let's wait a minute and we'll go back and we'll have a good time to get, like, this is what I feel has happened before the communication stopped. Then, you know, a couple weeks later, something happens, it triggers us back into the original argument. I thought, why are we talking about this again? So it builds and it builds and it builds, right? The dwindling down of communication works in a different way. There's an issue that needs to be addressed. And at first, both sides put in all their effort. They throw everything they can trying to fix this problem or get over a disagreement or get over a disagreement. Let's try this, let's try that, and throwing ideas out and, you know, scheduling meetings, or, you know, if this is like work or family, like let's get together and hash this out and we have a discussion. Then some time goes by, the issue pops up again, or the disagreement comes up again. Well, I thought that we settled this. Well, we did. Okay, so so we won't have to talk about this again, will we? No, we won't. And it's just like every time you walk away, you think the problem is solved. But then it flares up again. And every time it flares up again, the effort put in to fix it just goes nowhere, or it dwindles, right? So first time, let's sit down, have a face-to-face conversation. Next time it happens, let's get on the phone. Oh, I noticed this, and you know, Virgo rung you up, or, you know, called your phone. The third time it happens, Virgo sends you a text. Listen, I thought we had really come to an agreement here, but I guess I was wrong. You know, I really don't want to keep going over this, blah, 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 blah. The fourth time it happens, nothing. And now we get to the silence. I hope you see the difference. Now, they see that is the pattern between you. How you guys always come back to this trigger point of a disagreement or an argument, and it is bullshit for them because neither one of you is gonna let it go, or neither one of you is really gonna change. Maybe in some of their cases they want to put the blame on you. Makes sense. That would continue sort of this argumentative energy, or this combative energy with the Five of Swords, right? So they might throw it all on you, viewer. Every time it happens, you do this, you say that, you promise this, and then you go do the other thing, blah, 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 blah. They might throw all the blame on you. Some of them, they might share the blame. So others, you know, they'll be martyrs and they're going to fall on the sword. It was all my fault. Every time I do it, I screw up, and I can't please you. I don't know how to please you. I don't know how to make this work. Da, 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 da. And they recognize that we are just circling the drain here. Therefore, flush it. Get it down the pipes. Let's just be done. Okay? This is repetitive and tiring and exhausting, and they don't want to, knowing a Virgo, I don't have time to keep doing this. Yeah? King of Cups is the final part of their message to you. So look what's there. It's like a fish, like a goldfish, and I said, you know, flush it. I mean, I'm sure some people have a more decent burial for their fish, but I'm sure there have been millions upon millions of goldfish flushed down the toilet, yeah? So it's sort of a bittersweet thing that they're telling you, because I feel that this Virgo would want to, this is truthful to them. Truth is always subjective, right? Especially when we're talking about what someone says is their truth, right? That's subjective. So they're being as truthful as they can be, colored through their vision or coming from their point of view, right? But they're still compassionate. You know, as much as they might take you off the prayer list, as much as they might not, they might no longer send you spiritual healing, or, you know, it's like, it's not like they're going to go the opposite way and put you like on their naughty list, or start thinking bad thoughts about you, or wishing you harm. If they have for weeks or months been praying that you guys can come to an agreement, or that you guys will see past your differences, or that, you know, you could change their heart, or that they could change your heart, or whatever they were praying for, whatever they were wishing for. It's not like they're going to stop and do the opposite. They're just stopping. They're just stopping. Not to offend, not to hurt, not to do anything other than to be released from feeling tethered, feeling tied to the situation, feeling tied to you, feeling hopeful. Like I said, with that 9 of Wands in reverse, it's like, you know what? The hope is gone. The hope is gone. And the next best thing that Virgo would say is, I got to focus on me. This king, thank you, is a master of his emotions. Might not articulate them, okay? That kind of falls into this no communication reading, right? The King of Cups, while being a master of emotions, isn't the most talkative chap on the planet, you know? So if they were to tell you anything, I think they would keep it to just the facts, ma'am, and they wouldn't really elaborate. I think they would say things sort of plainly and progressively, sort of how I said it. You know, this has tired me out, and while I was standing my ground, while I was holding on to hope, while I was holding on to my faith, while I was, you know, in deep meditation or deep prayer, or I was talking with my therapist or talking with my pastor about what was going on between us, I eventually saw the patterns, or you know, the therapist, the pastor, my friend, or myself just had this revelation of, we were circling the drain here. All we were doing was constantly arguing over and over and over again. And we were never able to see eye to eye here. So I've decided to let it go. Truly. I've decided to let this go. I have to. For my sake, for my sanity, for my heart, everything I need to accomplish in my life, what I need to feel grounded, what I need to feel stable, I gotta let this go. And I don't wish you any ill will. You know, but I just can't continue to focus on you, or focus on us, or focus on whatever existed between us at a previous time. Does that make sense? Interesting. Sounds like a no-go on their side. Let's see what you would say to Virgo if you had the chance to speak to them. First thing you would tell them is King of Swords. Rational and detached. Feels kind of mutual, friends. Okay? So you would tell them, listen. I say that as my eyes fall on like the ear of that's highlighted by the sword. So listen, Virgo. You would tell them, I've had a lot of thoughts about this. You know, piercing my mind, as you can see, like the impression of the sword, piercing my mind. Thought about it constantly. Think about you constantly, you might tell them. And, you know, this King of Swords, number one, I've never seen or encountered a King of Swords that was overly sentimental. So I'm not going to sit here and try and paint you, viewer, to be more sentimental than what I feel. I don't feel this is a card of, I'm thinking about you all the time. It's more of like, I'm thinking about you in practical terms. Meaning, friends, have I mentioned that? Like, it feels most, I think I did. I think I said it was mostly, I can't even remember. Did I mention that this feels mostly romantic and or about spouses or commitments? Could be estranged family members as well. Friendships, only if you've known them like the majority of your life. Like, I'm talking like childhood friends or like college friends, like people you've known like for decades. This is what this feels like. If not decades in terms of family or friends or loved ones, then like a significant phase of your life. You know, best friends since freshman year of college, and what, you're 2 years out of college. Like, that's still significant even though it's not decades. You see what I mean? So the sentiment is about not how you feel now, but what you had then. Because it's remote. It's removed. King of Swords is remote. He's removed. He's aloof. He watches from afar. He analyzes and observes from afar. He doesn't really get in the mix. Okay? And he is swords. Oh, did I not mention? I didn't. I'm sorry. Let me go back here. King of Cups, water sign energy, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, blah, blah, blah. King of Swords, air sign energy, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. You could be any of those signs. They could matter. They might not matter. It's a general. But just so you want, in case you want to hear, that's what this is. So being that this is the King of Swords, that air sign quality is there where I need to be objective about this. I feel you both are trying to be objective. I think yours might have started a little bit sooner than the Virgos, because this Nine of Wands, I feel, is just, maybe not just recently, but maybe over the last few weeks, couple of months, this has really turned down, became reversed. Because again, they were praying for you, they were meditating on you, they were talking with their friends about you, or, you know, discussing the history between you with their mother, whoever, it doesn't matter. They only recently started to put this to bed. They have just begun to realize we're probably not gonna get a resolution to this, to whatever's going on here, or we're probably not going to be able to patch this up and get back to some type of civil, decent, constructive communication. Okay, you probably, viewer, have been on that train a little longer. You got on like 3 or 4 stops before them. You see what I mean? And I think you would say, I agree. This is whatever we had, it's not going to be the same, or we've tried. You know, all the kings give it the old college try. That's how they get to be the king, is they got there through effort. They didn't inherit the throne. They actually had to work their way up the rank of page, knight, queen, and then they become the king. So it's a gradual graduation process, okay? So this person also recognizes the efforts that you put in and that they put in, or that you both put in together. And being that and I said this person, I'm sorry, I'm so used to reading for the sign. You recognize that you have done that. My apologies. So you recognize that perhaps in some of your cases, you were a little too analytical, especially in a love romance situation. Maybe you were too heavy on the mental part of it, the logic, the rationale of it, and maybe you didn't give as much from your heart. Maybe you didn't express yourself enough from your emotional centers, or your emotional center, rather. And I mean, the profile of this king is looking off to the right of the board. All the action is to the left, or all of the contents, all of the detail is over here. That perspective is looking to the right. So exit stage right for you, viewer. And it's not to say like this is some big drama. I'm using like theater language as if it was a stage drama, but it's really not dramatic, because again, this feels like it's gone on for a minute. This is not some, we had an argument 5 days ago, Jay, what's going on? Nah, man, this is months and years of not speaking. This is months and years of, and I asked for no communication, but I feel like you have touch and go communication. You always, well, maybe not always, because I did say, yeah, I'm going to take that back. Because I did say over here with the Five of Swords, there was like one particular blow up that ended it all, or it just dwindled down to the point where now it's like, you know, a flat line. So I'm going to take that back. But that's where I was. Before then, like I did say, you would come back around and argue it over and over again, and argue again, and argue again, and argue again. Or, let's try and have a civil conversation about this. Let's try and have a civil conversation about this. Let's throw this solution out there. Let's throw that solution out there. It was a repeated cycle. You both know it. You both are like shaking each other. Not that you're meeting, because I really don't think you're even going to exchange these messages. in other readings, it has felt like, oh yeah, you guys will say this to each other, or when the opportunity comes, you'll express this. Nope, I see it. Nope, it will not be expressed. So take this as the final message, maybe. And please don't take that to the bank. You know, if they show up and you're like, I got my answers from my tarot reader 2 weeks ago, you can go away. No, If they come and they say something to you, or you want to go and say something, do that. There's no like solidity to any tarot reading. Even a personal, it's like, there's still wiggle room for this not to go that way. Now, moving on. Your next message to them would be the King of Pentacles in reverse. I'll show you this upright. Earth sign energy, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. So you have every sign here except for the wands. Well, you do have wands, but you don't have like a personification of the elements. And again, it's a general, so who cares? But in reverse, listen. Everything I just said. This is no effort. You realize, ooh. And some of you, okay. Before I get there, because that was like a really sharp, I'm going to tell you what that was. That was sharp, man. But this is just generally no effort given. No college try. Like I said, all the kings give it a college try. That's past expiration right now. Okay, there are no more tries. There are no extra lives. No bonus round. Dunzo. Your King of Pentacles message is, I have to safeguard my own investments. I have to focus on my own foundations, because this person, again, I'm saying this person, you realize that something foundationally between you is now going to be affected. So if this is about family or spouses or long-term partners, this could be, all right, well, we haven't spoken for 4 months. I think that means we're broken up. I'm going to stop by the house and pick up my stuff. Or I think you should start packing your bags because my name is on the deed and yours is not, and you need to leave. It's like that. Now, that transitions into that very sharp thing that I felt, where some of you are in tandem with that King of Swords. You might be demanding, maybe not demanding. There's something about money. Money owed, money due, money and who has how much of the money. King of Pentacles in reverse, stingy. So if this is a marriage going towards divorce, you don't really have cards of divorce here, but let's just say that was your situation. You would be concerned about the alimony. Do not think you're getting a penny from me. Some of you might be telling Virgo this. I've supported you. I paid the bills around here. I took care of the medical expenses. I paid for the kids' school. I'll continue to do that because I'm not a dirtbag, or I'm not a deadbeat mom or a deadbeat dad. I will continue to pay for my kids. But as far as you go, Virgo, nothing. You get nothing from me in this divorce. Okay? Now that might be a reason to open up communication. You know, and I'm not here to advocate go to divorce court. I'm not here to say fight it. If that works for the Virgo, if they're like, okay, great, get them to sign on the dotted line. If it doesn't, and it leads to some kind of combative energy, potentially again with that Five of Swords down on their line, well, it is what it is. Oh, here I am saying the phrase I hate. It is what it is. I hate that phrase, but there it goes. I said it. So some of you are just like being in combination, because the King of Swords, like I said, can be detached and aloof. He's often a very cold and calculated energy. You put that King of Pentacles in reverse right next to him. He's calculated and he's cold, especially when it comes to what is of value in his life. And I'm saying he only because of kings. You could be a man and that could be you. Okay? So, or excuse me, you could be a woman and that would be you. So some of you might have a very sensitive, or maybe that was the whole reason why you guys stopped talking in the first place. Maybe over divorce proceedings. Okay, maybe because of that. Maybe months ago you initiated divorce proceedings. You serve papers on Virgo, or they serve papers on you, or whatever. And it's like, cool, let's get divorced. And then Virgo's like, so about those assets. And you're like, what assets? Whose assets? My assets? Oh no. And then now we have a problem. And now, Five of Swords often involves more than two people. It often involves a group. So this could be you arguing between your lawyers, going back and forth over stipulations of the divorce and the specifics of it and how much is enough. 0 is what he gets, or 0 is what she gets. And their lawyer's like, that's unacceptable. You got to give him something. You were married for 15 years, blah, 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 blah. And it's just like this back and forth, back and forth. You, I assume, when you get a divorce and you go through lawyers, it's advisable for you not to directly speak. So that could be why you're not talking. You're not supposed to talk to each other because, it could look bad for your case. Yeah? Something like that. That's how we get there. Now, the final part that you would say to Virgo is, deuces, goodbye. You both are done with this. Let me tell you. 6 of Swords, moving on, literally moving on, packing the bags, get the U-Haul over here, put these boxes and let's take them down to UPS. We're going to drop them off so they can be shipped across the country, whatever it is. Moving on. Okay? This is very complicated because I really feel that in some of your cases, not all, you are not moving. They are moving. You're not leaving anywhere. You're staying wherever you guys lived, wherever you want to live. You're not moving a muscle. But Virgo is moving on. And I think you are seeing that. And you don't mind. But I also feel you're kind of like, but hurry up. Don't dawdle here. Don't drag your feet. When you say you're leaving on November 15th, you best be out the door November 15th. Something like that. And it's not, I'm a little sassy in my delivery. I don't know that you would necessarily be sassy towards Virgo if they're the one that is leaving and they have a certain deadline, okay? But it is this very it's this very sharp approval or watchful eye that either side has on when are you leaving. You said you were leaving by this date. That's 4 days away. I still see things not packed up in here. You know what I mean? And again, it's kind of weird where if you're not in communication, you can't even tell them this. Like, it's really something where a separation of a family home or a home that you both have shared and one person is leaving and the other one is staying, but you guys can't talk or you don't talk, and so it's weird. You might be talking through your friends, talking through family members. You send your sister over to the house. Virgo, my sibling, the viewer, wants you to separate all the DVDs. And Virgo's just like, okay. It's weird. Like, in some cases, the Virgo is in the house that they will eventually leave, and the house doesn't stay there. It's really weird. Virgo stays in the house right now, but Virgo won't stay there forever, and the person that is staying there isn't there. It's weird. The other thing, because again, you might be the one leaving. You might be the one who's like vacating the premises, okay? Either way, your energy also says, if Virgo is the one leaving, I'm not throwing any money towards helping you move. Like, you're a little bit colder than Virgo, if I'm honest. Viewer, you're a little colder than them. And you have your reasons. I don't know your life. But you're a little colder than they are. And if they are the one who is vacating premises, or they're the one whose life is being upended, which it definitely feels that way, comparatively. You have two high cards, high-ranking court cards. You don't even have a card of conflict. All the swords are a little prickly for the most part, but the Six of Swords is usually getting away from prickly or uncomfortable energy and moving towards something smoother and calmer. Here, conflict or internal conflict and feeling deflated, feeling defeated, external conflict, coming back around again and again and again, or at least thinking about that, at least remembering that. And then we have, yes, an accomplished and masterful energy in the King of Cups, but soppy or melancholy. You are much more ready to get this show wrapped up than the Virgo is. Or not ready, prepared. You're more prepared. You have anticipated the transition. You have anticipated things actually finally completely severing. Yeah? Collective energy. Here in the center. Virgo to you. King of Cups to the King of Swords. King of Swords. My God. King of Cups to the Six of Swords. Well, they're sad. I think for the most part, Virgo is putting on a brave face as best as they can, but they are sad about it. To walk away from you, to move out of the house, or you to move away, or you to walk away, whatever. But that mastery of the King of Cups doesn't allow them to mourn it. Not right now. Not while it's still wrapping itself up, okay? It's like a stoic, like, you know, sometimes in like a movie, like they show the main character going through a trying time, and, you know, they've been through the crucible, you know, they've gone through their trial by fire, right? And it's towards the end of the movie, and you're expecting them to like cry or break down, and they just stand there with like a stiff upper lip, and maybe like their mouth trembles a little bit, and you can see the water gathering in their eyes, but a tear never drops. That is what Virgo is doing. Not going to let you see them cry. Not to say that you want to see that or that you deserve to see that. I don't know. I don't know what the true essence or nuance is of the situation, but they do not want to, or they're not in a place where they can truly mourn for this separation, for the true parting of ways. This really feels like they're, not that you guys will never communicate, but not anytime soon. This feels like this is no communication because this is a long separation, or it's a long time for us to agree that things between us are probably not going to work out at this juncture, at this phase in life, at this stage in our lives. So we have to just agree to disagree and walk off from each other or separate in some type of way. It doesn't have to be romantic, by the way. This can still be friends and family, but the strongest storyline coming through is commitments and spouses, okay? If I'm honest. Now, they're just not prepared because of everything else that's going on. If they're the ones that have to pack up the house and leave, I can't sit here crying. I gotta pack the waffle iron. I gotta pack the toaster. I can't sit here weeping. I have got November 15th on my calendar. I gotta get out of here. So for now, it's sadness and it's melancholy, and it's sort of a detached or distanced somberness. My God. Something like that. You to them, Six of Swords to the King of Cups. Hurry up. You are ready to release. You're really ready to detach in a very similar fashion. The quicker this is over, the quicker I can get on to healing, or in some cases mourning. I'm not going to say you're heartless or you're the heartless one and Virgo is the victim, you know, the heartfelt, you know, sap here. No. You both might feel the same way. The sooner we're completely wrapped up here, the sooner we can both mourn the loss of this relationship, mourn how things didn't work out in the end, and then we can get back on track with our lives and, you know, do whatever is next. I think you mirror that, but I think you are the driving force of actually pulling the final plug, getting the last bit of ink signed on those divorce papers. And, oh, no, you know, like literally, you might be sitting there in the lawyer's office, because I would assume, I've never been married. Came close though. Pull it back. Anyway. Never been married. But I assume when you get divorced, you have to sign a lot of paperwork, or you have to initial all these places. And you know how those papers go. They have to like point it out to you. They put like the little sticky tabs on the page. Okay, you guys are going to sign here, 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 here. And you could literally be sitting there watching Virgo sign the papers and be like, no, 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 you missed one. Go back a page right there. You missed one. Because you don't want to come back to this. You really don't want to come back. You do not want to have to sit in these meetings, continue to pay a lawyer just to get this wrapped up. Like, I want this to be the absolute last time we have to come back to this office, the last time that we have to discuss this, whatever. Once the agreement is made, once the paperwork is signed, you want it to be the last time, totally. Totally. And then you can cry. You both will cry after. In your own ways. Maybe you're a crying in the shower type. Maybe Virgo is a crying wildly into the pillows. Who knows? But in the meantime, while things are still shifting, while, you know, things are still a little tender and raw, we don't have time to be crybabies. Neither of you. So in that way, you guys are still simpatico. No need for clarification. Let's see what the oracle will be. I'm looking right at it, but I'm trying to, you know, invite them to see if there's another deck they want to use. No, they don't. Okay. You guys get The Goddess Guidance by Doreen Virtue. I'm trying to keep it light, guys, because this obviously was a very tender reading. But if you both feel similar, I think you'll be okay. Let's get an oracle card for this reading, please. One oracle card for this reading for the viewer. And for Virgo, I assume they'll be watching a few of them at least. That seems to be the trend. The sign that I'm reading, quote unquote, not for, they show up anyway. Anyway, one card for this reading, please. One oracle card for the reading. Yeah, good. Yeah, here you go again. I think that guide showed up in the last reading. Yeah. What song is that? I don't know what song that is. Damn, it might be important. I can't even think of it. I can't even get the full melody. Anyway, it's not Rihanna. I don't even like her. Rhiannon? The book will tell me. Sorceress. You are a magical person who can manifest your clear intentions into reality. Oops. Skip right past the R's. Now I'm back into the O's. There she is. I want to see how Rhiannon. Rhiannon is how you're supposed to pronounce that. Rhiannon. Just wanted to see Rhiannon. A message from Rhiannon. A large part of my power stems from my connection to animals and nature. You've been indoors too long. You can recapture your personal power by simply stepping outside. This simple motion will do you a world of good in reawakening your sleeping, magical, spiritual nature. Allow the light of the sun, the moon, and the stars to stir ancient memories that may be dormant. Recall the times of your magical abilities and then put them to use immediately for the good of the entire planet. Resume the mission that was once aborted through the misdeeds of past time leaders. Take up your spiritual arms and move with swift speed into the night, awakening one and all to the magic that is life itself. This is a mission that must be accomplished, and you're the one who can help us with it. Various meanings of this card. Have absolute faith that your dream is manifested. Make a clear decision. Put your energy into manifesting your dreams. Know that you deserve to receive good. When you win, others win too. Keep your thoughts focused on your desire and away from fear. Now, that doesn't play to the history between you and this Virgo viewer, but I feel it plays to the future for both of you. if you're into nature and you're like not opposed to like nature walks and all that kind of stuff, go ahead and do that, because there was that overtone there. But it really, that last part about the various meanings, I think applies to the both of you. Swift action towards manifesting your dreams. I feel that as though historically you and this Virgo have had deep ties. Like I said, it feels like you've known them for decades, known them for your entire life if they're family members, right? And so now that you guys are separated for whatever reason, under whatever terms, you can pursue your own dreams as individuals. You may have been business partners, you may have had a family business together, you may have had a home together, whatever. Now you both can, even down to the most minute things. I have my own space. I can decorate it how I want. I don't have someone telling me I need to go to bed by 8 o'clock. I'm an adult. You know, something like that. You're able now to really follow your individual dreams and look to fulfill them. And don't look to someone else to fulfill them alongside you, or fulfill them in place of you deciding what do you want for your life. Does that make sense? All right, that's how I feel that. Okay? All right, guys. This was the very last reading of this it's a new series. Let me just go ahead and say it's officially a new series for EmpathicFire. Okay, so I don't know when I'm going to do this again though, because scheduling is kind of tight. Like, I already record every week, and I'm doing, I mean, I know people do more, but also a lot of readers, this is no shade, a lot of readers will put up like a 10-15 minute reading. As you can see, mine go for 30, 40, even up to an hour and a half in some cases. So it's a lot of time it takes me to do these. So in order to introduce this new content, I'm really going to have to shift my schedule around. I work a full-time job too. Come on, guys. So, but if you are subscribed, you will see when I do that. So make sure you like, share, subscribe, and comment. If you enjoyed the reading, if there was something that resonated here, leave a comment down below, because I will be doing this again. The reception has been wonderful to this specific reading, so I definitely will have to do it again. All right. Anything else? Not really. That's it. So again, guys, I thank you so much for watching this video and taking your time to spend it with me today. I really do appreciate it. Take care. Bye.